Welcome to the Goalbusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance. Well, hello everyone. My name is Robin J. Emden and I am an accountability coach and author of Get Resultsology, The Science of Getting Stuff Done. I work with people who run their own business. No boss, distractions everywhere and never enough hours in the day. Together we cut through the noise, sharpen their focus and follow through on the big ideas that actually move the needle. That's what I call the momentum formula. Do it today, profit tomorrow, and repeat. So if that sounds like the kind of breakthrough that you've been looking for, then you're in exactly the right place. And speaking of being in exactly the right place, I am delighted to welcome our guest expert, Brenna McGowan. Brenna is a launch strategist, copywriter, speaker, and creator of Behind the Launch. She helps coaches, course creators, and consultants avoid high-pressure launches using her pre-launch plan program and anticipation marketing strategies. Clients have tripled revenue, pre-sold offers, and reduced overwhelm. Based in Northern California, Brenna enjoys walking her Labradoodle, Louise, reading cheesy romance novels, and preparing for empty nest life. Brenna, welcome to Goalbusters.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here too, all the way from California as well. What's the weather like? I know that's a stupid question to ask a Californian, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I live up where it's very dry and at the moment, as we're recording this, very, very hot. So something that people don't realize a lot about Northern California is that we don't see rain for 6 or 7 months at a time, which I love the sun, but it also becomes everything is brown surrounding us for the most part.
Yes, I had a feeling the word hot was going to come into that answer, but shall we do the questions instead? Because otherwise I could probably talk about, as I explained to you before the call, I could talk about the weather for hours, and that's not really the point of the podcast.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get the clock up on the screen. And there it goes. Brenna, could you tell me please, who is your ideal client?
Yes, you mentioned it a little bit in my bio, which is course creators, coaches, people who have masterminds, memberships, service providers, pretty much anyone, and even a little bit of e-com. But I mostly focus on people that are providing high-end services or have some type of course digital program that they're trying to sell.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So, and what exactly is the problem or problems that you solve for those people?
Yes. So the problem that I solve for my people is that they have a service, they have a program, and they want to increase their sales. They are doing regular launches, or another way of saying this is just a promotion. And they're trying to figure out how they can do this in a way that doesn't feel super overwhelming. So in the online space that I reside in for my business, launches have become this big, bloated, stressful pressure time. And what I have really done and really love helping my people with is like, what can we say and do before someone ever sees an offer that gets people leaning in? I call it anticipation marketing. What can we do to create anticipation and get people asking us when something is coming instead of feeling like the person who is waving their hands, trying to get attention at the time that they're trying to sell?
Okay, thank you. That sounds very interesting. And I'm trying to avoid the temptation to hear the word lunches when you're talking about launches, because that would be silly. All right, so what is one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them to solve the problem that you've outlined?
Yeah, so I think the simple thing that you can do that seems so obvious, but we often forget is just to start talking about what you have coming up. What are you working on? What are you doing behind the scenes? What offers are coming up in the future? So often we kind of work in isolation and then we go out, and whether it is a brand new launch of a product or service, or even if it's something that we've already launched before that people have already seen, but how can you start talking about it ahead of time in a way where you're not asking for the sale, but instead creating curiosity and anticipation around your offer?
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much. That's very clear. All right, so now that we have a better understanding, a little bit better understanding of what you do, you can't cover it all in a couple of minutes. Let's dive into goal busting, focusing on how to maximize productive time to achieve business goals. Brenna, could you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their productivity habits?
Yeah, I think this is an ironic question to ask me. And I think it was ironic to go on this because I don't consider myself the most productive person, right? Especially working from home and working for myself, and I have a very small team, and I have to be the person who has to lead and guide. This is an area that I definitely have friction around sometimes. But the one thing, and I've tried everything, I've tried the time blocking, I've tried, all the different things that are out there. For me, there's two things that work really well. The first thing is not scheduling appointments on Monday. There's something about me, if I have something on my schedule where I have to show up on a Monday, it throws my whole week off. And so I've worked very, very hard to protect my Mondays where I'm not taking calls, I'm not talking with clients. That's the first thing. The second thing is thinking about my day ahead of time. So in a perfect world, I'd be all perfectly scheduled out, but that's just not the way my brain works. But if I can just take a few minutes the night before and go, okay, this is what I'm going to do from this time to this time, whether it's getting up and exercising and walking my dog Louise, whether it's something I'm going to work on for a client, writing an email, whatever it is, if I can set those things out ahead of time, I am 100% more productive. If I show up at my desk the next morning thinking, what should I work on today? It all falls apart because I don't want to work on anything, right? So that's been the things that really have helped me.
Thank you. And actually, from my point of view, that's almost the one of the most perfect answers to that question I've heard for a long time, because you've highlighted some of the issues and the challenges that us people who work from home struggle with on a daily basis. Now, not everybody does, but I suspect a great many do. And for example, I completely identify with you. I've done exactly the same thing. I will not do appointments on Mondays for exactly the same reason. It just like something about the psychology. I look forward to Mondays. I work really hard on Mondays to get everything done that I want to get done, but I don't include appointments because, for obvious reasons, that ties you into other things that you then have to follow up on and do. I really love what you're saying and about scheduling, and you also mentioned the fact that just doesn't work for me. In my book, I talk a lot about the fact that everybody is different. Everybody has things that works for them and things that don't work for them. It's really why we've got this podcast, because we're coming up to 100 episodes now. Next week we'll broadcast our 100th episode, and there are some similarities between the ideas that people come up with in answer to that question, but there's also maybe 50, 60 different varieties to illustrate the point that everybody has a different answer. So I love that. Thank you so much. Now I've waffled on and I still have a question to ask you, and I will give you time to answer it, of course. What should I have asked you today, Brenna, that I didn't? And your answer, please. And if you need to take a little bit more time, please do.
Yeah, so I think you should ask me what I'm watching on Netflix. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that. First of all, I really love like I've been on like a little bit of a TV binge lately, but I don't watch like what everyone else watches a lot of times. And I like real I don't like anything that's stressful or if it feels tense at all, I'm out. So I've been watching, and this one actually is a little bit, I've been watching Sullivan's Crossing. And the reason why I bring this up at the time that we're recording this is with Sullivan's Crossing, they actually they just came out with a new season yesterday, Monday. And the reason why I know this is because Netflix was telling me. Netflix was telling me that this was coming up, right? And so this goes back to what I'm talking about, anticipation. And like so many times people think, why am I not selling more? And I actually had a friend and we were just discussing this yesterday, and he talked about like I don't think people realize what I'm selling. They're asking for things that I'm already selling. And so I want us to remember how distracted, when we speak of productivity, a lot of times we're extremely distracted human beings. And when it comes to your business or whatever you're doing, is that you have to get attention and get it early and sustain that attention if you want to increase momentum and increase your sales. And so that's why I asked you that question, because I'm watching Sullivan's Crossing because Netflix told me that it was coming up.
Brilliant answer to that question. I love it. I love the connection you've made there. I do have one final question, which is, how can people reach you? That's part A. And part B, I always say this is a cheeky question. I say it every time, but I'm going to ask you if there are like a valuable free resource they can get from you. And it's not really cheeky. It's a serious point. People may not be quite ready to launch themselves into speaking to you. See what I did there? But they might be interested in finding out more about how you work and what your offer is. And that's where the valuable free resource comes in. So please do feel free to share that as well.
Yes. Well, if you want to, the easiest way to talk with me is come find me on Instagram. Look up Brenna McGowan Co. You can DM me. I would love that. Come say hi. Tell me you listen to this podcast. And I love having one-on-one conversations on that platform. And if you're like, okay, I do have a course, a service, something that I want to launch, that I want to, garner this attention and do it in a way that doesn't feel stressful and with a lot of pressure, I have my launch calendar. You can go to brennamcgowan.co/launch calendar. And that launch calendar, you can plan out your entire launch and pre-launch in moments using my cool little AI tool. And then it will give you a breakdown of the things that you should be saying and the type of content that you should be creating before you put an offer in front of someone.
Fantastic. That's actually a wonderful offer. Thank you so much. That's actually incredibly useful. Planning is everything, strategy, and to have someone with a professional understanding of what it takes to put something like that together, that's terrific and very helpful, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brenna McGowan, for being on Goalbusters today. It's been a blast.
Thank you so much.
And remember, everybody, keep goal busting and make your future self proud. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to Goalbusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate and review it on your favourite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination, and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.